loved us so much that in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Yo niggas ain't tough. Yo niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. YAHANNA, YAHANNA, all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000, a card of a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite school of UPK under Commander YAHANNA. Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's going to be in H-Town, baby.
It's going to be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
2021, I.S.U.P.K, 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord, of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
It's on.
All right. All right, why did you present yourself? Awawadi Bun Gad Bun Yasha'Allah.
Awawadi Bun Gad Bun Yasha'Allah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham.
Close that curtain all the way to 2 buckles. Oh, yes, sorry. I'll make sure that curtain close all the way.
God, good.
Water. Nice size cut right here.
That was nothing.
Ain't no camp, so you know. Yeah. Law Yasha'Allah.
There you go.
What's up, guys? Why do you cover the scroll button on the show?
Our module, which means to stand. Wapanyahakodam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew. Repeat after me. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakaka, Daba'a, Ratazayaka, I.S.U.P.K, Barataza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamaya, the thunder now, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaki now, Kabawaki now, Kasalaki now, Kawawafi now, Wala'a, Tabi'ayi now, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashaya now, Mayan, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, Wa'ayamya, Aman, and in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven, give us this day, our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. We're going to say a cut the power, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Barakashah, the thunder now, Hakak, Narapa'ah, Kamakala, Hakak, lots of hog, Hamatazarayim, the Hakim, Hakak, Arakawa, Hatama, the Garsha, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, the Wadaman, and in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power, the power to heal, all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. We'll say, bless Israel, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Baraklanau, YAHANNA, Wahabayah, Sabari, Barak, Magun, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, the Wadaman, and in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones, in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Let's say Psalms 121, Asha, Ayanya, Ahahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Izari, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shemaya, Wa'arataza, Ayathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Alyanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashun, Shawamah, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Aliyah, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Lakaka, Wayarak, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara, Yashama, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashama, Taza'afka, Wabawa'afka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ayawalam, the Wadaman. And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out, and thy coming in, from this time forth, and even forevermore. So be it. We'll say Psalms 83. Alahaya, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Thakarash, Al-Thashakwat, Al-Yahanna, Al-YAHANNA, Yahama Yawan, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Imaka, Ya'ara Yamwa, so why? What you think your eyes are to? Go ahead, Wayethaya Isaac
Wayethaya Isaac.
Altas Bawonika.
Altas Apawonika.
Amarwa.
Amaru.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakida.
Wanakakida.
Magawa.
Magali.
Wala'a. Yazakar.
Yashakar.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Iwad.
Kaya.
Kaya. Noah Itazawa.
Noah Itazawa.
La. Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Baryath.
Baryath.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahalia.
Ahalia.
Adawam.
Adawam.
What? Slake. Waya Shemaiah. Slake. Waya Shemaiah.
Yeah. Waya Shemaiah. Waya. Go ahead,
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagarian.
Wahagarian.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimalak.
Wa'aimalak.
Kalashaf.
Kalashaf.
Am Yeshabia.
Am Yeshabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Nalawak.
Nalawak.
Imam. Hayawak.
Hayawak.
Zarawak.
Zarawak.
Labanya Lawak.
Labanya Lawak.
Salat.
Salat.
Aisha Laham.
Aisha Laham.
Kamaji.
Kamaji.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kayabin.
Kayabin.
Banakal.
Banakal.
Kwayashua.
Kwayashua.
Nashima Adwa. Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayan Da'arwa.
Ba'ayan Da'arwa.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La'adama.
La'adama.
Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
The Damawa. Not a Yamawa.
Not a Yamawa.
Ka'ira.
Ka'ira.
Wakazabak.
Wakazabak.
Wakaza'aba.
Wakaza'aba.
Wakazabak.
Wakazabak.
Wakazalmanai.
Wakazalmanai.
Kalnasaya Kamwa.
Kalnasaya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amaru. Na Yarasha.
Na Yarasha.
Na Yarasha.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Af.
Af.
Na'af Slakia. Na'awaf. Na'awaf.
Na'awaf.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Kagagala.
Kagagala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya Rakwa.
Lapanya Rakwa.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Taba'ira Ya'ira.
Taba'ira Ya'ira.
Wakala Slakia. Wakala Haba.
Wakala Haba.
Thalahat.
Thalahat.
Haryam.
Haryam.
Khan.
Khan.
Tharadatma.
Tharadatma.
Basa Iraka.
Basa Iraka.
Wabasa Wapafka.
Wabasa Wapafka.
The Bahalam.
The Bahalam.
Mala'a.
Mala'a.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kualawan.
Kualawan.
Wayabakwashua.
Wayabakwashua.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Yabashua.
Yabashua.
Wayaba'awa.
Wayaba'awa.
Aja'ai.
Aja'ai.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayada'aiwa.
Wayada'aiwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Atha.
Atha.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Labadka.
Labadka.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Al-Kaha Rataza.
Al-Kaha Rataza.
The Wadaman.
The Wadaman.
And in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
thy
enemies make a tumble.
Thy enemies make a tumble.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said. Come.
And
let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembered.
May be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Israelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal and Ammon.
Gabal and Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher is also joined with them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kishon.
At the brook of Kishon.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
And like Ze'ed.
And like Ze'ed.
Yea. All their princes.
All their princes.
As Sabbath.
As Sabbath.
And as Salmunah.
And as Salmunah.
Who said, let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh possession.
The houses of Yahweh possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the
fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
Whose
name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it.
And with that, Sar, which means to turn. Yeshabia, which means to be seated. Up here, Yeshabia, which means to be seated. All right, we're going to be picking up where we left off last week. And that's 1 Kings, what's that, 11. We had 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 11. And as it is our custom, we read it in the Hebrew first, and then we're going to translate in the English after we finish reading it in the Hebrew first, right? So, Makwash, you can read the first 5, or Awad read the last 2. Okay. 1 King 11 and 11. Wayamar Yahweh. Shalom. Ya'ina. Ashar. Hayatha. Za'ath. Imaka. Wala'ah. Shamartha. Baryathia. Waka Kathaya. Amar. Tazawa Yathaya. Alyaka. Quora'ai. Kroa'ai. Ath. Hama Malaka. Ma'alyaka. Wanath. Thayah. La'ibaka. Verse 12. Aka. Bayamyaka. La'a. A'ai Shana. La Ma'ina. Dawada. Abayaka. Maya. Banka. Banaka. Aqua Ra'ina. Verse 13. Requa. Cow. Hama Malaka. La'a. Aqua Ra'i. Shabbat. Akkad. Athan. Labanka. Lama'ain. Dawada. Ibadya. Wala Ma'ina. Yara wa Shalom. Ashar. Bakar Thaya. Verse 14. Wayaquam. Yahweh. Shaitan. La Shalom. Ath. Hadada. Ha Adamya. Mazara'i. Hamalak. Hawa'ah. Ba'adawam. Verse 15. Wayahaya. Baha Yawath. Dawada. Ath. Adawam. Ba'al Watha. Yawa'ab. Shara. Ha Tizaba'ah. Laqua Laqua bara. Ath. Hakal la layam. Wayak. Kal. Zakar. Badawam.
Verse 16. Kayat. Shashata. Kadashim. Yashab. Sham. Yahweh. Wakal. Yasha'Allah. I. Hakar. Yatha. Kal. Zakar. Ba'a. The one. Verse 17. YAHANNA. Hawa. Wa'a. Nashiyam. Adam. Yayam. Yama. Ma'ai. The Ya. Abadiwa. Athuwa. Laba. Yawa. Ya'a. Labawa'a. Matazarian. Wahad. Salakia. Wahad da. Wahadada. Na'ira. Quatana.
Now we're going to read it in the English. We are at 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 11.
Second.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 11.
Go ahead, brother.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 11. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant.
So just to catch up from last week, we were just at the point where King Solomon went and followed other gods, you understand? And that's the problem with our people today. Some knowingly and some unknowingly. We follow other gods whenever we follow the culture of other races of people. You understand? When you get high, you're not just smoking weed for your enjoyment. You are serving another God when you get high.
Right.
And for those of you serious weed smokers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You understand? Some of us actually believe we're serving God when we smoke weed. Mm-hmm. That's that false God you're serving. Mm-hmm. And whenever you serve other gods, the Lord is not pleased. That's one of the commandments. You understand? Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Well, Solomon made this mistake when he went and took strange wives, women of other nations of people. You understand? And this is another thing. This is why the Lord told us not to take women that are not of our race. You understand? Because this is what they do to you. You know what I'm saying? You may think you're a strong black man and you'll get her to follow your customs and culture. But truth be told, she's going to get you to turn away from your people, your culture, and your God. You understand? And this is what happened with King Solomon. So this is what the Lord is saying to King Solomon, because he
went against the Lord's commandments. The Lord is saying, I'm going to take the kingdom from you. I'm going to rip the kingdom from you. You understand? Keep reading. Go ahead, Quest.
I have a precept what you were saying.
Go ahead, Barack.
Come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
For they will turn away thy son from following me. Go one verse, bro.
Come, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. For those of you that don't know, you understand, because it's not your fault you may not know, because the Christian church does not teach the Bible. Sex is marriage, man.
Right.
So for those of you that think that you can sleep with heathens, like a lot of brothers got that bad. Sisters, I'm not really sure if they got it as bad as brothers, but I know brothers got it bad where they think they can sleep and do all the freak nasty stuff they want with white women and Asians, and then they'll settle down with some sister. You understand? Like that, a lot of brothers believe that. No, brother, sex is marriage.
Right.
Black man, black woman. According to the Bible, sex is marriage.
Right.
And the Bible is saying that we should not have sex and make relationships and marriages with these people.
Right.
People that are not of our own people. Keep reading.
God. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his son.
Don't give your precious daughter Zion over to some filthy heathen, man.
Right.
It's disgusting. I'm reading about Janet Jackson the other day, and I'm just like, as much as I crushed over Janet Jackson and would have just showed her the good life in my head, she went and got some filthy Iranian, some heathen, and she can't stand them now. They're not even together. You didn't had a child for this filthy heathen. You understand? Like, our people are so destroyed. It's disgusting and it's sad. What's the other sister that played tennis?
Serena Williams.
Serena went and had a child by some devil. Mm-hmm. You understand? And he looks at her like a monkey. Mm-hmm. His people call her a gorilla. You understand? While we looking at her like, look at all that tail. You know what I'm saying? Now, if a brother were to get with her, he would tell her, you can't lift weights because it's a little too masculine. But we don't look at her as no damn monkey. Right. But his people look at her as a gorilla. Right. You understand? Like, the Lord does not want our people to mingle with them. Keep reading.
God. Thou daughter shalt thou not give unto a son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Nor his daughter shall we take unto thy son. I seen a video on Facebook where the brother, what's the team that just won the Super Bowl? Buccaneers, right? Right. It was some brother on the Buccaneers. And as he's going to celebrate the win of the Super Bowl, guess who come running to his arms on the field? Guess. Becky. Here come Becky running. Right. Becky with the nasty hair. Yeah, the dog hair. Becky come running up to him and everybody cheering on like, yeah, she was holding him down since high school. And I'm just like, this is a love story to you, then okay. That's what a love story to you is, then okay. This is sad right here. This brother is going to give all his wealth and his energy and his power and his fame and glory to people that hate him, to another people. You understand? It's very sad. And the Lord is displeased with that. You understand? This is what the Lord is saying. Keep reading, Barack.
Verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me.
They will, man. The Lord is telling you. The Lord knows you better than you know yourself, man. Right. The Lord is saying that they will every single time. Mm-hmm. It's not going to fail. It's not an option. It's no matter how strong you think you are. And I say this because I heard brothers say, "Nah, I'm gonna get me a white girl. Now I'm gonna trap that white girl out. Like she gonna do, she gonna do nigga culture." What you don't understand is that white girl is going to emasculate you in ways that you don't even know you're being emasculated.
Right.
Like black men that go to white women, they like white women because white women are not overtly emasculating. A black woman, she'll call you ain't shit, and you a BAN, this is a match. She'll do that. A white woman will make you do things that you don't realize you're being emasculated. Mm-hmm. You're being emasculated, and you don't even understand you're being emasculated because she's a devil. She's the spawn of Satan. Go ahead, Quaz.
Most subtile beast.
The most subtile beast. That's how they are. You understand? They're going to make you turn from your God, man. And it's so important that we cannot afford to turn from our God because this is all we have. This is all we have. Everything that you claim to have in this kingdom can be taken away from you. Every single thing. Your wife, your children, you understand? The one thing that can't be taken from us is our bloodline. That's right. Our culture, you understand? And is been given to us by the Lord. And so we can't give that up for the sake of other people. And that's what Solomon did, man. We read about in the past 2 weeks the wealth and the glory of Israel in the time of King Solomon when he followed the Lord. King Solomon was the richest man to ever walk the face of the earth, the richest king. You understand? The wisest king. King Solomon, under King Solomon, Israel was so prosperous. People came from far and wide to see how we thrived as a nation. And he gave this up because of his lust for other women of his nation. Does that sound familiar? Sound like deja vu, don't it? Yeah. What does that sound like to you?
Sound like something that's going on right now.
Martin Luther King.
Good night.
Black people were better off before integration, if you didn't know that.
Yep.
We had our own dry cleaners. Right. We had our own shoemakers and welders and our own stores, and black men were doing hair and nails, and not out of kitchens, and nothing wrong with that either. But I'm saying sisters had actual salons and shops, man, where they didn't have to worry about some stinking Chinese Asian man beating up on them. But we traded all of that, our own self-sufficiency, to join with another people because some man had a lust for women that's not of his nation. Like history repeats itself. And that's why the white man has made it his job that we don't know. This is our history. It's February, it's Black History Month, but nobody's talking about the Bible. Right. Nobody's talking about Jesus being black, King David being black, King Solomon being black, right. Moses being black. Nobody's talking about that. Right. We get told the same history regurgitated over and over. Our history as black people starts in the 1960s, according to the white man. You understand? The bulk of our history. Our history in America is we were slaves, then the civil rights, Barack Obama. That's pretty much the bulk of our history. What our history is so much more vast and rich, you understand, and culture, but we would never know that because we don't follow the Bible, because we choose to follow another culture. Anyways, I'm gonna turn it to a whole other class. Like, keep reading.
Come on.
That's a lot.
Verse 12. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son.
Now this is important. They can be long-winded on this one. This is important to understand. The Lord is saying, for the sake of your father David, I will not take the kingdom from you, Solomon. And this is important to understand because on the flip side, your life can determine the life of your son and your son's son, your children's children, your children's children. Like David lived a life so righteous and was so favorable in the Most High's eyes that his credit carried over to his son's life. You understand? Like that's how much favor David had the Most High. The Lord was like, I'm not going to take the kingdom from you because of the sake of your father. You understand? But because of you, I am going to take it from your son. Which in the term, the flip side of that is you can pay for sins that your parents committed. And you can make your children pay for sins that you committed, man. Now, you ever wonder why you go through certain things? You're like, yo, a lot of us ask this question, what did I do to deserve this? Why me? Ask mom, ask pop. You understand? You get to talk and confess, and you'll realize you was a wicked Negro, man. You know, the Lord is paying me back for what you did. I see why I'm going through this. Go ahead, Rob.
Salagi, what you're saying is heavy too, but like on the flip side, it's almost like bringing it to nowadays terms, and just like it was back in the day. But it's like a brother that, even though it's worldly, a brother that may have been in the streets, you know what I'm saying, that's no longer in the streets no more. They children like got this like reputation. Or your father was so-and-so, or your father was this. We're going to look after you. We're going to make sure you're good. We're going to make sure you're squared away just because you're somebody's son that, you know, had this reputation throughout the neighborhood, throughout the black community.
That's always been like that. Even in us being shattered as a nation, we still maintain that. If your daddy was a snitch, you be like, oh my goodness. Listen, I'm telling you, we laugh because like, nah, your daddy was a snitch. Your daddy told them folks. You know what I'm saying? We don't bang with you like that. Or your dad was, you know, he was a real one. We forget that. Yeah, we forget. We remember. The hood remembers. That is black culture. That's Israelite culture. You understand? You pay for the sins of your parents. And right here, King Solomon is going to make not only his son pay for his sins, but the entire nation of Israel. You understand? It's important to understand for brothers in here because we the real leaders of black people. That's right. That's what the Lord gave us. Our decisions affects our people, man. That's right. You understand? Like you thinking like you being weak is just affecting you. The one time you are weak is going to affect blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's the charge that we have as leaders. You understand? It's our burden. I remember General Muhammad taught a class where some pastor, he said, who was it? Steve Harvey, I believe. He was like, I didn't know. He took a picture and did an interview with Donald Trump. And after the fact, he was like, I didn't know that they was playing me to get this picture. And General Muhammad broke it down where it's like, a real leader can't suffer mistakes like that. Like if you're an actual leader of black people, you can't allow somebody to finesse you. Like how are you leading the people and you getting finessed for a photo op? You understand? Like you're not fit to be in charge of black people because black people seen you take a picture with Donald Trump and now they thought it was okay now to side with Trump. Like everything we do affects our people. And this is what's happening right now. We're going to read in just a second. This is going to get real sad, man. I enjoyed the past other scriptures because reading about the wealth and glory of Israel, it was real nice to read about. Right. This when it gets real gloomy, yo. Salak.
If I could, black, Latino, Hispanic, and Native American men are leaders, whether they're leading their family or leading the nation. If one leader breaks down, one link in the chain breaks down, everything else fails. You're as strong as your weakest link. Mm-hmm. One thing leads to another, or causes a chain of events of things to happen. Right. If you fail your family, you know what I'm saying? If you're an alcoholic, or if you abuse drugs or whatever, your family in turns pays for that. And it's so practical for people. When we say, you pay for the sins of your father, people think that it's someone should go to jail because of a crime that their father did. But we pay for everything that our fathers did before us. Yeah. If our fathers is absent, or if our fathers drug dealers or drug users or alcoholics, they're not there in the family, right? That leads to poverty. That leads to a whole host of other demons coming, inviting themselves in. Our father was supposed to be our protection. And if he's not there, or if he's there and broken, everything trickles down. Right. And once that thing trickles down, it breaks down the fabric of us. Exactly. And once we grow up, to head a household or to choose a man for the sisters, we don't have that righteous knowledge that how the way we should live. Exactly. And if a household breaks down, the next household might break down, and the next household might break down, and sooner or later we're going to have the Martin Luther Kings and the Steve Harveys of the world. Because what you're saying is heavy. Not that it might break down, it will break down. Yeah. Brotherhood is a weapon. The family unit is the basis of building a nation. But that's why the oppressor has made it his job, to destroy black people first through the family. You understand? That's how he does it, by us paying for the sins of our fathers and our mothers. You understand? So that was a heavy point, Bukwash. Go ahead, Owadi. Come.
Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake which I have chosen. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. It's important to understand, man. Black people talk all the time. Drake made a song, I got enemies. Got a lot of enemies. Black people always going on social media and talking about how we have enemies and enemies left and right, when you don't understand you have all these enemies because the Lord is against you. It's not these people are against you, the Lord is against you. He's trying to get you to see that. It's the reason why everywhere you go, everybody hates you. The people at the job hate you. You know what I'm saying? Your family hates. If you in here, your family gonna hate you. If you in here, it's different. Everybody gonna hate you. I'm talking about for the people who just have enemies that you shouldn't even have enemies. Like why does somebody here hate you? They don't even know you. The Lord is against you. That's what it is, man. And we gotta understand, even if you serve the Lord will make your enemies to be at peace with you. You understand? If you displease the Lord, this is what he'll do. He'll bring somebody out of nowhere. We're gonna read about Hadad and where he came from. Hadad came out of nowhere. He wasn't supposed to be alive. Some white boy that survived something he shouldn't have survived. That's how the Lord works. He'll make the exception be a downfall. Like, where did he come from? Keep reading. Come. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom.
So right here, this is a point in time where the order came down for every male in Edom, every so-called white man to be killed at this point in time. And this is what happened. So they thought. Keep reading.
For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel until he had cut off every male in Edom. That Hadad fled. That Hadad fled. He and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him to go into Egypt. Hadad being yet a little child.
So right here, Joab went and they went to go kill every Edomite man and male, period. Hadad was one of the ones who happened to flee as a little child. And we're going to read how that caught back up into King Solomon, you understand? And this is how the Lord works. He'll use something that, you would think is nothing. Like the Lord brought the enemy out of nowhere for King Solomon because of his disobedience. A lot of times our lives we have so many adversaries because it's not the people in particular, but it's the Lord. You understand? I say it the same because I see posts all the time about black people. Like, oh, I got, people, everybody hate me. There's so much talk about hate this and my haters this and this and that. But it's like, God hates you, man. It's like, stop talking about the haters. God hates you. You're a sinner. For those of you Christians that say God loves the sinner, but hates the sin, that's a lie. In the Apocrypha, it tells you God hates sinners, man. Those people hate you because God hates you. And you can't seem to understand that. You think God is going to be on your side when the Lord hates you. Go ahead, Rock.
I got the precept.
Go ahead, Rock.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hated sinners.
For who?
For the Most High hated sinners.
Not God.
Yes, sir.
I thought God loves everybody, not sweet Jesus.
For the Most High hated sinners.
Not my words. God hates sinners, man. You live in a life that goes against what this Bible says. God hates you. Yeah. I know that's hard to hear. That's strong words. You understand? It's different to hear that God hates the white man. Now we're telling you God hates you. God hates you if you are a sinner, man. That's why our lives are the way they are. That's why we suffer. You can't tell by the things that you suffered in the world that somebody hated you, that the Lord hated you. I look at my life and I'm like, the Lord hated me. Show me for me to go through this, right? I'm telling you, I start telling my story all the time, man. When your life starts to F up perfectly, you just know the Lord hates me. Yeah, I coined that, by the way. When your life starts to F up perfectly, the Lord hates you, man. Right. And we have to understand that him hating us is the worst thing that could ever happen to us. Right. You understand? Because we cannot be delivered out of his hands because he's the deliverer. Go ahead, right.
Concert. It's like I think we're gonna be here for a minute.
Go ahead, Quest.
But we can talk about this for a minute. But yeah, right. Go ahead. But you Christians are so stupid because stupid, just plain old stupid. You read that to them, then they don't accept it, and then be like, all right, okay, well, show me where God loves sinners or hates the sin but loves the sinner.
Right.
They cannot find it nowhere, and then and then they'll tap dance everywhere else. but and then they'll say God is all powerful. So how in the world does he have any adversary? Right. Who's going against him?
Right.
Who is going against his? If he ordains everything, how is Satan going against God, doing everything that God does not want him to do?
Right.
Well, it's stupid.
It's idiotic. It's idiotic. And this is why we're so confused. I remember going to church all my life. And when I finally got out on my own and I'm trying to, in my head, do the right thing and maintain a personal relationship with God. And I'm reading and I'm like, this is not making sense. Why is it that this is not clicking to me? It just, certain things go against your common sense. And I'm like, why am I so confused about this right here? And come to find out, it's because it's Christianity. The Bible is not confusing. The Bible doesn't contradict itself. It's the doctrine that people try to attach to the Bible. Christianity does not make any sense. And McQuarrie just said, how can you claim God is good all the time? You understand? God is all powerful and but God, only God. But then God got an enemy. You understand? Satan fought God and took a third of the angels. What? I might as well go serve Satan. Why can't I? For that, if God is all powerful and Satan was able to do all that, I should serve Satan according to your doctrine. But that's not the Bible. That's a made up doctrine. It's not real. God is all powerful. Satan works for the Lord, and this is proof right here. You understand? The Lord will send evil angels. That's a precept in the Bible too. The Lord sends evil angels out to do his bidding. And that's what happened with King Solomon. It's like, right, you had something?
Nah, so like just on that particular topic or subject that them doctrines they try to believe in, like for them to say that Satan came up against God and there was a war with the gods and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Like God would not tell his children, and I heard this from one of the generals. God would not tell his children to have their house in order if God didn't have his own house in order. It just it just don't make no sense.
Doesn't compute. Doesn't equate. Right. The Lord is not a hypocrite. You understand? Like Christianity is not only satanic, it's idiotic.
There you go.
Captain Garov said that he coined that back when he's in DC. Come out of the Christian church, man, for real. For real, I understand the confusion that's there. Like when we talk about the church, we're not talking from outsiders, that were never there. Like most of us came from inside the church. Right. You understand? We know intricately about all the doctrines and all the things that we suffer in the church. You're confused and you're depressed and you're suffering because of Christianity. You understand? But with that, I imagine we understand. Could God present yourself? It's like, yo, we can't be that long with it like that. So like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying y'all, but it's me. So like, you guys take the blame with me. So like, go ahead.
Kagar Mach, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Kagar Mach, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Yahweh Shem El Shah Brakatham.
Yahweh Shem El Shah Brakatham.
If I may, can I read the first two answers? I'm gonna try. And then I'll read the first two.
What you mean? Come up first. Come up. Up here, your shadow was be seated. What you mean? Just read it on the page for right now.
Okay.
Come on, sure. I see you eager. I see you branching out. Let's go sweat.
Damn.
Yeah.
In the middle of service.
Yeah, he trying to make us look bad. He trying to make us look bad. No sweat. I see what's going on.
In the Hebrew, 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 18. Waya Kamawa, Mama Dayan, Waya Ba'awa, Pa'aran, Waya Kakawa, Awa Shayam, Imam, Mapa Aran, Waya Ba'awa, Ma Chazarayam, Al, Para'ai, Malak, Ma Chazarayam, Wayathan, Lawa, Bayah, Walakam, Amar, Lawa, Wa'arataza, Nathan, Lawa, verse 19. Waya Mataza'a, Hadad, Khan, Ba'ayana, Naya, Para'ai, Ma'ad, Wayathan, Lawa, Ashaha, Akawath, Ashatawa, Akawath, Thakapanayas, Nayasas, like it. Hagabayara, verse 20. Watalat, Lawa, Akawath, Thakapanayas, Ganabath, Banawa, Wata Gama Lahawa, Thaka Panas, Batawak, Bayath, Para'ai, Wayahaya, Ganabath, Bayath, Para'ai, Batawak, Banaya, Para'ai, verse 21. Wahadad, Shammai, Bamatazarayan, Kaya, Shikab, Dawada, Ayin, Abathayawa, Wakaya, Mach, Yawa'ah, Shar, Hatazabah, Waya Amar,
Hadad, Al, Parai, Shalakanya. Oh, Slaki, what? Oh, 21. I'm sorry, right for 21. Slaki.
Go ahead, deep that.
Wahadad, Ashai, Bama Tatarayim, Kaya, Shakab, Dawada, Ayin, Abathayawa, Wakaya, Amah, Yawa'ab, Shar, Hatazabah, Waya Amar, Hadad, Al, Parai, Shalakanaya, Wa'alak, Al Ratazia, verse 22. Waya Amar, Lawa, Parai, Kaya, Ma'ah, Atha, Kasar, Mia, Wahanak, Mabakash, Lalakath, Al, Aratazak, Waya Amar, Lawa, Kaya, Shalak, Dashalakanya, verse 23. Wayakam, Alahayim, Lawa, Shatan, Razawan, Bun, Alayadai, Ashar, Barak, Ma'ath, Hadada, Izara, Malak, Tazawabah, Al-Danayawa, verse 24. Wayakub, Bataza, Alayawa, Al-Nishim, Yahweh, Salaki, Yahaya, Wayahaya, Shar, Gadawada, Baharak, Dawada, Atham, Waya Lakawa, Damashak, Waya Shabwa, Baha, Waya Malakwa, Badamashak.
All right, in the English, we have 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 18.
English. And they arose out of Mekadine and came out to Paran.
Midian.
Oh, Slaki. Verse 18 in the English. And they rose out of Midian, Slaki, and came to Paran. And they took men with them out of Paran. And they came to Egypt, unto Pharaoh king of Egypt, which gave him an house, and appointed him victuals, and gave him land. Verse 19. And Hadad found a great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Tahpenes, the queen. And the sister of Tahpenes bare him Ganubath, his son, whom Tahpenes weaned him Pharaoh's house. And Gapaneth was a Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh.
So what's going on right here? Hadad was an Edomite who fled out of his land when King David ordered that all Edomite males be killed. You understand? Of course, that order came from the Lord, but this is what happened. Hadad fled, you understand, into Egypt, and he grew up in Egypt, and he got favor in the sight of Pharaoh in Egypt, right? And because he was so favorable in Pharaoh's sight, that Pharaoh allowed Hadad to marry Pharaoh's rib's sister. So right now you're seeing how he came up amongst, this white man came up amongst Africans, you understand? And so right here, he came up with, his son grew up in the house of Pharaoh, you understand, amongst Pharaoh and his people. We're going to read about how that played out. Keep reading.
Verse 21. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab, the captain of the host, was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart, that I may go to my own country.
When it says that David slept with his fathers, of course you know that it's not talking about David sleeping with his forefathers, man. That's not talking about David having sex with his forefathers. And I said that because you'd be so surprised. The nutcases that believe that's the Bible saying. Right? The homosexuals who use it to justify their gayness.
Right.
David slept with his fathers. Listen, man, that's not what they're saying, man. I was about to say something, I wanted to keep my rank. That's not what it's saying, man. When it says David slept with his fathers, it's simple. David died, and now David is buried where his fathers are buried. Right. See how simple that is? Right. But because you don't have the truth, to you, that means something completely different. The same way you weirdos think you can marry and molest and have sex with girls that are not even of age. You Negroes are weird, man. And in the world, brothers like me would have dealt with Negroes like that a certain way. Right. But I'm on the truth now, so we'll just blaze on you. We'll just call you all type of freaks and weirdos and sinners. You understand? You're disgusting, and you don't have the truth. And if you had a conscience, you will come in here and learn the truth because you're living a life that the Lord is going to destroy you for, man. The Lord is going to absolutely destroy you for that type of lifestyle. But anyways, this is what it's saying right here. So Hadad heard that King David and Joab is dead. The people that put the hit out on the Edomites is dead. So he's like, well, shoot, it's safe for me now to go back to the land of my people. Keep reading.
Come, verse 22. Then Pharaoh said unto him, but what hast thou lacked with me? That behold, thou seekest to go to thine own country? And he answered, nothing. How about let me go in any wise?
Well, this is important to understand right here because the Bible, go ahead.
Verse 21.
Oh, sorry, verse 21. Verse 21. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab, the captain of hosts, was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart, that I might go to my own country. Verse 22. Then Pharaoh said to him, but what hast thou lacked with me? That behold, thou seekest to go to thy own country? And he answered, nothing. How about let me go?
Howbeit.
So howbeit, let me go in any wise.
This is important to understand because a lot of people today, because America is the so-called melting pot of the world, we think that's the model for how every nation should be.
Right.
When that's not what the Lord intended. Right. And that's not what society was before. Like this white man grew up well amongst these Africans. Like he lived in the house of Pharaoh. Like he lived well, and he still wanted to leave royalty to go and to be into his own land. But this is what the Lord always intended. He intended for every race of people to be in their own land with their own people, man. Right. Like that's not a strange concept. That's why the North Koreans don't even like tourists over there like that. You understand? If you come over there, you got to hide your cameras and stuff like that, and they own people. As much as the white man hates it, you understand? The white man will demonize North Korea because they only want their people there. South Korea, they sold out. You understand? The South Korea, they allow everybody to come there. When the right thing to be is how North Korea is. You understand? Meaning you only want to be around your people in your own land. You know what I'm saying? This whole melting pot garbage is disgusting. God hates America, man. Yeah. Like y'all think America is beautiful because of the diversity. God hates diversity. Right. You understand? That whole we got to do diversity trainings at the slaves and all that garbage. Man, I used to hate that garbage, man. Right. God, we shouldn't have to do this. Right. I shouldn't have to learn about you. You shouldn't have to learn about me. Right. You understand? F you, you know, and you know, to you, F me. You know? It's okay. It's absolutely okay. And that's what the Lord wants. He wants it just like that. Everybody should be in their own land. Right. And this Edomite had enough sense to know that. You understand? He grew up in power and wealth in Pharaoh's house. And he said, even Pharaoh was like, man, what did you lack? I thought I treated you good. He's like, what did you lack that you want to leave? And the devil was like, nothing. I just want to be in my own land with my own people. Go ahead.
Oh, Salaam, sir, if I may. Is this the first account in the entire scriptures with the Edomites going into Egypt?
No, it's not. Because who was Esau went and got, what was his first rib? What race was his first rib? If anybody know. She was a heathen. She's an African. You understand? Now, was it the first instance of an Edomite going into Africa? You understand? But even though Canaanites are not Africans, but Esau, his first rib was an African. So white people and Africans have always had some type of relationship. Right. Understand? But this is not the first instance. But I just pointed this out to see just how important it is for people to have their own land and amongst their own people, because that's the way the Lord intended it. And as long as we are in the land with our enemies, we will never live the life the Lord wanted us to live. You understand? As long as we are mingled with the people that are not our people, we will never see the life the Lord intended for us to have. Like, there's no reason why I should see, you know, whatever white people do. It's things that we take for granted that we don't realize it shouldn't be like that. Right. Like, I shouldn't have to change how I talk when I get around certain people. Right. That shouldn't be like that. That's weird. That's foreign, man. That's a life of a slave, man. I should be able to talk just like this everywhere I go. What's up, nigga? You know, I should be able to say that everywhere I go. What's up, nigga? Oh, what's up, nigga? You know, that should be us. And the white man should be able to say whatever he wants to say everywhere he goes. What's so sad is everybody wants to play and be politically correct. Like, oh, this is good that we're all together and we got to watch what we say when everybody hates it. That's why Donald Trump got elected, because Donald Trump, for the first time in a long time, made white people feel like they don't have to pretend. Like, they love being around us and they like being politically correct. Donald Trump made it okay to be like, yeah, to be honest, I really like the Mexicans. Right. You know, now that we being honest, I really like them niggers. You know, now that we get it off our chest, and that's okay. Because to be honest, we hate you too. And we wish that you would leave us alone so we can build our own nation. Yeah. You know, the way the Lord intended. This is not hate speech. This is the Bible. Right. According to the scriptures. Understand? So keep reading.
Okay, verse 3. And God stirred him up another adversary, Rosen, the son of Elida, which fled from his lord Hadadzah, the king of Sabbath. Verse 24. And he gathered men unto him and became captain of the advance. And when David slew them of Sabbath, they went to Damascus, Damascus, and dwelt therein, and reigned in Damascus.
Right, so we're going to read about how the Lord not only stirred up one enemy against Solomon, he stirred up multiple enemies, and this is one of them right here. With that, I say Imagine, which means to stand. Barak, present yourself.
Barak ban Yahweh ban Yasha'Allah.
Barak ban Yahweh ban Yasha'Allah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham. No. Trying to get like y'all. So I guess the showers be seated. Clark, if you could, flip up the show. We're going to pick up where we left off. We had 1 Kings 11:25. You got it right.
Come, verse 25. Wayahaya, Shatan, Laya Sha'ala, Kurl, Yum Ya, Shalama, Wa'ath, Hara'ad, Ashar, Hadad, Wayakataza, Bayasha'ala, Wayamalak, Aram, verse 26. Wayarab, An, Bun, Nabat, Aparathia, Pana, Amana, Hatazara, Daha, Washam, Amawa, Tazara, Wa'ai, Asha, Alamana, Iba, Lashama Lama, Wayarum, Yada, Bamalak, verse 27, Waza'a, Harabal, Ashar, Harayam, Yada, or Yad, Bamalak, Shalama, Bana, Ath, Hamala, Wa'ah, Sapal, Ath, Sakar, right here. Sagar, Ath, Parataza, Ayah, Dawada, Abayawa, verse 28, Waha Yash, Yaraba'an, Gabawo, Kayo, Wayara'a, Shalama, Ath, Hana Ra, Kaya, Aisha, Malaka, Hawa'a, YAHANNA Athwa Lakal Sabbath Bayath Yawasat. Verse 29. Wayahaya Ba'aith Ha'ayah Wayara'ain Wayaraba'ain Yataza'ah Mayar Washalam Wayam Taza'ah Athwa Akar Yaha Hayashalanya Hana Baya'a Butterrock Wahawa Wa'a Matha Kasa Bashalama Kadash Washan Yaham Labadium Labadam Bashada, verse 30. Wayat Pasha Akaya Bashalama Hakadash Ashar Alayawa Wayaka'i Shanyam Ashar Kara'ayam, verse 31. Waya Amor Laya Raba'ain Kaka Laka Ashara Kara'ayam Kaya Ka Ashar Yahweh Alahaya Yasha'ala Hananaya Kara'ai Hahamalak Mayad Shalama Wanathaya Laka Ashar Ashara Hashabatium, verse 32.
Right. You read it in English for a second. I want to give stop a moment. Somebody, let's give a hand to the sister Ayala. Let's give a hand to Captain Fox Bread, Captain Socks Bread, also Kamiya's Bread, and all the sisters that cook and bring food in here, man. If you think as a sister that you do not have value in the truth, that is Satan tricking you, man. You understand? Sisters have value in here, man. The same way brothers have value in here.
Right.
And these sisters, almost every Saturday, you know what I'm saying, bring food in for the brothers. You understand? Whenever we going out to camp or just for Sabbath service. And it means a lot, man. Everybody plays their part in here. And sisters should be honored for the good works that they do, man. So shout out to all those sisters that always make sure that the brothers is tawab, you understand, as much as they can. Right. It's a glorious thing. And the food is banging.
Yeah, right.
It's ordained from the Lord. I just killed my bowl in about 2 minutes. It's gone.
In the stomach.
Listen, I went to the Sabbath and I'm gonna get some more. You know what I'm saying? That pasta is holy.
Yes.
It's from the Lord, but the water to all the sisters holding it down, man. You understand? Keep doing your job and doing this work, man. It's a glorious thing. And sisters, you have value in here. The Lord gave you things that brothers don't have. You understand? And the Lord gave brothers things that sisters don't have. And as black men and black women and Hispanic and Native American men and women, we need each other, man. We need each other. Don't let the world confuse us into thinking that we against each other. In the UPK, we are absolutely one. We are together in this, man. Right? Understand? But with that, read that in English, Brother Shaw.
Come. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 25. And he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, beside the mischief that Hadad did. And he abhorred Israel and reigned over Syria. Verse 26. And Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite, of Zeruiah, Solomon's servant, whose mother name was Zeruiah, a widow woman, even he lifted up his hand against the king. And this was the cause that lifted up his hand against the king. Solomon built Millo, and repaired the breaches of the city of David his father. Verse 28. And the man of Jeroboam was a mighty man of the Lord. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. Verse 29. And it came to pass at the time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahijah the Shalanites found him the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they were alone in the field. Verse 30. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. Verse 31. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will wring the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee.
This is what you're reading about right here. Stop if I may. This is what you're going to read about right here. To this day, why blacks and Hispanics seem like they're against each other. While we look at each other like we're not one people. It starts right here. We're reading about how the Lord sent this prophet to prophesy and tell him the kingdom of Israel is going to be split. 10 and a half tribes are going to be in the northern kingdom. That's who we know today as the Hispanics and the Native Americans. And half of Levi will be the so-called Haitians. And the southern kingdom will be the other 2.5. Judah, Benjamin, and the other half of Levi. And this split right here is damn near the cause behind so much unnecessary beef between our people to this day. Right. Like, you got fake Israelite groups that believe Hispanics and Native Americans are not even our people. What they call a Negro only. Right. Then, on the flip side, you got Israelite groups with just only Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? Northern tribes only. Like, we are so destroyed, and this comes from one man's decision to go against the Lord. Like, that's how deep this goes. Like, if you don't understand, and I brought that up with the sisters at this point, because if you don't understand, we all in this together, you bugged out your mind. We are literally all in this together. You understand? What I do affects you. What you do affects me. What we do affects us. And that's the way the Lord wants it, because now everybody has to be held accountable. Everybody has to be held to the same standard. I remember General Hyman said this. He broke this down a while back, and he said, the sisters have to follow the same laws that we have to follow. The sisters suffer in oppression the same way we suffer in oppression. There's no different Bible that's for the sisters and kids. You understand? This is for all of us, man. And the problem is, let's say it again. Yeah, ain't no children, ain't no Saturday school in here. Right. Ain't no children's church. Ain't no separate thing. It's just all for all of us. If we understand that we have to be in this together, we can prevent this from ever happening again. Like, we read about the kingdom being split. And it's really as much as, and I know we don't really understand this is our history, but when you really read this, it's sad to read it, because from here, it's downhill, literally from here. From here, from the kingdom splitting all the way to 70 AD when the Romans came and took over our land. And now today, you have a people who God hates running around the earth with our holy seal. With our holy seal. Right. Claiming to be us. Like, black people don't fit that. We get mad because white people want to sing like us and dance like us. F that. Y'all claiming to be us. Right. Y'all claiming to be literally a people who the Lord said we are. You can try to dress like that. Listen, man, listen. Black women getting mad because white girls getting cornrows. F that. It's white women right now in Israel claiming to be you, sis. Claiming to be a daughter of Zion. That's how disgusting that is. That is a travesty to our people. And this is because King Solomon allowed his demons to overtake him. And he went and sinned against the Lord. The Lord, being a just God, allowed our kingdom to suffer all throughout this. The rest of this book is a lot of our suffering. You're going to read about this history. In the Old Testament, it's just a lot of Israel suffering because of this. Go ahead,
Slocky, if I could. What you're saying is bringing me back to the old man. It was the Esau takes a lot of what Israel do and applies it to himself. Yep. To lift himself up. I remember when I was in Esau's military, they would incorporate mass punishment.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If someone does something wrong, everybody gets punished for it.
Right.
I was in a unit where someone from South America did something. Now everybody can't drink. Everybody has to be in by like, it was like 10 o'clock.
Right.
I was in the party place. I'm trying to party.
Right.
That came out. I'm like, what? We didn't even do nothing. The region that I was in, I was somewhere totally different.
Right.
So totally different part of the world. And we got to suffer for something they did.
Right.
And once I actually came into the truth and I understood that just that thing is biblical, is holy, and that's how you keep a nation strong.
Right.
So that if I mess up, you brothers supposed to come and check me and let me know, hey, this ain't about you, it's about the rest of us. Because if I mess up, just like we was bringing out earlier, the whole house is messed up.
Exactly.
Anything can come in because of my shortcomings if I don't get right.
Exactly.
And that right there is how we keep the nation. First build the nation and keep it strong.
That's right. And it's important you said that, of course. I want to say something. You're saying it's right, but let me just say this. The white man does that because he's a sadist. He's sadistic. The white man does that type of punishment simply because he wants people to turn on each other. He gets, okay, the concept of it, yes, Bakwash, is from here. But the white man does things for reasons why many of us can't comprehend. They are sadistic. They get pleasure out of punishing people. You understand? Like we really can't process it because we're not the same as them.
Right.
You understand? Like we watch how the police do our people, and we look like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? In their minds, they process things differently. They're beasts, man. You know what I'm saying? So the white man punishing everybody for one person's mistakes is not how the Lord is going to make us accountable. He's doing it because he just wants to see everybody suffer. Like he's literally that disgusting and sadistic like that. Like, yeah, I want to see I know we down here in South America with all these beautiful women and all this good drink and all this party, and I want all of them to not enjoy it. Like that's literally like, the white man is that petty. Y'all laughing, y'all think it's a joke. They are literally that petty. I don't want them to enjoy it. I don't. I know we down here. I don't want them to enjoy the Lord will punish everybody in hopes that everybody will keep each other accountable. That's not why the white man does what he does. But because that's a heavy point you brought out too, because that's how we should maintain our household. I remember growing up, my father was like that. If one person messed up, we all got to work. That's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? He said, guilty by association. Like, what? Guilty by association? What are you talking about? Now that I'm older, that's how life works. That's how the world works, man. Right. You understand? You pay for the crimes of your people. Just like if you go into a store right now, you're going to get followed in that store. Mm-hmm. Not because of something you ever did. You probably never stole nothing in your life. Mm-hmm. But now you have to suffer the reputation of what your people is known as a whole. Right. You understand? And that's what's so important. That's why the Lord said when we follow this book, we were looked at as a wise nation, as a people who the Lord deals with. That's important, man. So I keep reading. That's it. That. I'm sorry, Christ. God, present yourself. So like, why do you present yourself?
I will watch your bun gad, bun yashala.
I will watch your bun gad, bun yashala.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat Rock a Thumb.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat Rock a Thumb.
Okay, you're shopping. Be seated. Pick up where we left off. Yeah, 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 32. We'll read it in the Hebrew first. I'm gonna read this one. Slide out. What verse?
32.
32. The what? No sweat. No sweat. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 32. YAHANNA, Ha'akad, Yahaya, Lawa, Lama'ain, Ibadia, Dawuda, Walamine, Yahweh, Yahweh Washalam, Ha'ayar, Ashar, Bakarathia, Baha, Makah, Shabbatya, Yasha'ala, verse 33, Ya'ain, Ashar, Izabawania, Waya Shethakwawa, La'ai Shethai Ratha, Alyan, Alahaya, Tazadanyana, Lakam, Slakia.
Lakadawash, verse 30, bottom 33.
33. The second line.
Okay, Slaki. Laka Mawash, Alahaya, Mawa'aba, Wat Wala Malakam, Alahaya, Benaya, Imawan, Slaka, Banya, Imawan, Wala'a, Halakawa, Badar, Badarakia, La'aishawath, Hayashara, Ba'ayanya, Wakat, Wakat, Kothaya, Wamashapat, Kadawada, Abadyawa, verse 34, Wala'a, Akwat, Af, Kar, Hamamalaka, Mayadwa, Kaya, Nashiya, Nashaya, Ashafnawa, Ka, Yumya, Kayayawa, Lama'ain, Dawada, Ibadia, Ashar, Bakarathia, Afwa, Ashar, Shamar, Mataza Wathaya, Wakwakthia, verse 35, Walakwakthia, Hamalawak, Hama Luaka, Maya, Banawa, Wanathia, Laka, Af, Aisharath, Hashabatyam, verse 36, verse 36, Wala Banawa, Athan, Shabbat, Akkad, Lama'ain, Hayawath, Nayar, Ladawiyah, Ibadia, Ka, Hayamya, Lapanya, Baya Rawashalam, Ha'ayar, Ashar, Bakarathia, Laya, La Shawam, Shamya, Sham, verse 37, Wa'athka, Akwak, Wa Malakia, it's like Wa Malakath, Bakal, Ashar, Tha'awa, Napashka, Wahayatha, Malak, Al, Yasha'ala, verse 38, Wahaya, Amah, Dashamai, Af, Kal, Ashar, Aktasawaka, Wahal Lakath, Badarakia, Wa'aishiyat, Hayashar, Ba'ayanaya, Lashawamar, Kakwa Wathaya, Wamata Zawataya, Ka'ashar, Aisha, Dawada, Ibadia, Wahayataya, Imak, that's like Imaka, Waban Yathaya, Laka, Bayath, Na'aman, Ka'ashar, But now Yathaya, Ladawada, Wanathaya, Laka, Af, Yasha'ala, verse 39. That's all right. Now we're going to read it in the English. We had 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 32.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 32. But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, because that they have forsaken me and have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways to do that which is right in my eyes, and to leap my statutes and my judgments and to keep my statutes and my judgments as did David his father. Howbeit I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for David my servant's sake, whom I chose, because he kept my commandments and my statutes.
You see how many times David's name was mentioned in just these couple verses right here? Like, David had some credit with the Lord, man. Like, that's heavy. Like, I pray and I strive every day that, you know, when this is all recorded, you know, and the Lord didn't kill, you know, Bun Kazak because of Kazak Ahmad's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I pray that I live a life where I just can spare one of my hard-headed grandsons. You understand? Because that's the type of power that we have, you understand, over the future of our people. You understand? Right now, we are literally building a kingdom for our children's children. Right. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing. And we have the power to affect our entire family line. You can be the one that go down in your family history as Nabal, the fool, or you can be like David, whose credit with the Lord, whose righteous acts with the Lord is holding so much weight. The Lord is showing mercy. The Lord could have just killed all of Israel. He could have took the kingdom. What happened in 70 AD, the Lord could have made that happen right here. Right. You understand? The Lord could have sent the Romans against us right at this time, or the Greeks, or whoever he chose to send against us. And that just would have been the start of our captivity, what we're going to read about later on. The Lord had mercy for the sake of David, man. And that's so heavy because the Lord is a just God. He's not an evil ruler or some sadistic person that you atheists want to make him out to be. The Lord is a person who honors good and he gives punishment for wrong. Right. Like, the Lord is the only true measure of justice in our entire lives. And we should seek to please the Lord because he'll give you what you deserve. The problem is a lot of us cannot handle what we deserve. You know what I'm saying? Good or bad. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on right here.
Like, if I could, real quick, David is so high up in the Most High's eyes that his name is written everywhere in the scripture and everywhere here. Yeah, right there.
All the route.
You know what I'm saying? Right there. Everything you see has David's signature in Israel.
Exactly.
And that's part of what we should strive to be.
Right. That's exactly what it's so heavy you said that because you just brought something to my attention. Forget, what we read right here. This is literally David's signature. Right. This is the man's signature. Like, that's what our people are known by, is David's signature, man. To this day. That's the type of power that you can have if you follow the Lord's commandments, man. David was a man of the Lord's own heart. And we read about David's story. He wasn't, he made mistakes. He made mistakes. We read about Bathsheba, but he paid for his mistakes. And what did he do after his mistakes? He got back up and stood up as a man of the Lord and continued to strive for perfection. And the Lord was pleased with David, man. The Lord loved David. He loved David. You understand? Go ahead.
Like, if I could, from what I understand, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. The mistakes that David made was Bathsheba, that whole situation.
Yes.
Was there anything else that he did after that?
I mean, it's not recorded, but I know the one that we know about in the scriptures is him committing adultery with Bathsheba, and that's not a small thing either. Right. Because of that, To this day, Judites kill other Judites. You understand? Because of that, the sword has never departed from the tribe of Judah. Because of that. But at the same time, don't let one of your mistakes define you. You know what I'm saying? A righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets up. So don't let the world try to hold you or somebody try to hold you to a mistake you made, man. The Lord, the Lord gonna deal with you how he see fit. But don't let Satan play you into like, oh, I did this. I might as well. I'm not worth this. I might as well just lay down and just, go to the church for all that, man. Right. And here, you get, it's like it's a fight. But you gonna stop fighting the moment you get hit? That's a coward. Yeah, folks. I don't know if you know that. The moment you get hit and you stop fighting, that's a coward. In a fight, you're gonna take some licks. You better give them back. Stand up and keep giving them back until the bell rings, man. And that's what David did. And the Lord was pleased with David. He was obedient, man. And that's what I strive to be, just like that. To be favorable in the Lord's eyes, so that my family and my people have favor because of my namesake, man. Go ahead.
That's right.
Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 35. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes. And unto his son will I give 1 tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. And I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all that thy soul desire, and shall be king over Israel. And it shall be, if thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, and will walk in my ways, and do that is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as David my servant did, that I will be with thee, and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and will give Israel unto thee.
That's it. Most High Christ. I mind you, understand? The God present yourself. Come.
Kagar Mak Banya Howda Banya Shala.
Kagar Mak Banya Howda Banya Shala.
Yahaba Shim Yah Shah Brakatham.
Yahaba Shim Yah Shah Brakatham.
Up here, Yeshua was be seated. We had 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 39. We will read it in the Hebrew first.
YAHANNA. Zerai. Dawada. Lama Ayin. Sa'ah. Aka. La'ah. Cow. Hazamayim. Verse 40. Salaki, yeah. Hayanyim, the water too. Verse 40. YAHUPK. Shalamai. Lahamayah. Yarabayim. YAHUPK. It's like come. Yarabayim. Barak. Matazarayim. Shayashak. Malak. Matazarayim. Wayahaya. Bamatazarayim. Mawah. Shalamai. Verse 41. Wayathar. Debarium. Shalamai. Wakal. Ashar. Aishaha. Wat Kakamathawa. Halawa'ah. Hamah. Katabayam. Sapar. Dababarium. Shalamai. Verse 42. Wahayanyam. Ashar. Malak. Shalamai. Vaya Rashalam. Cow. Yashara Allah. Arabayim. Shana. Verse 43. Wayashika. Shalamai. Ayin. Abatha Yahweh. Wayakabar. Ba'ayah, Dawada, Abayawa, Wayamalak, Rakaba'ayin, Banawa, Thakatha Yawa. 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 1. Wayalak, Rakabayin, Shekam, Kaya, Kal, Yashara'ala, Lahamallayak, Athala. Verse 2. Wayahaya, Kashamai, Yarabai, Ban, Nabat, Wahawa'ah, Aiwa Dunyua, Bamataza Runyam, Ashar, Barak, Makanaya, Hamalak, Shalamai, Wayashah, Yarabai, Bamatazarayim.
Now we're going to read it in the English. We have 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 39.
Come in the English. And I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt unto Shishak, king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. Verse 41. And the rest of the acts of Solomon, and all that he did, and his wisdom, are not written in the book of the acts of Solomon.
What book would that be called today? It says, read that again, that verse.
Are they not written in the book of the acts of Solomon?
Is that the wisdom of Solomon?
The wisdom of Solomon, which confirms the validity of the Apocrypha. Like no other work has the other what the scripture calls the acts of Solomon, besides the wisdom of Solomon and the Apocrypha. Like, don't let the Christian church tell you the Apocrypha is not valid. Just because white men came together and decided they didn't want to include it in the Bible, even though it was in the Bible, it is actual scriptures, man. Like that Apocrypha, it was in the Bible. That's why you can buy a King James 1611 version, the actual 1611 version, you will find out it's in the scriptures. You get the Old Testament, and right in between is what we call the Apocrypha, and then the New Testament. Right. Like it was all one Bible. But that's how much the white man is a devil. He decides what's, what we need to read and what we shouldn't read. Just like what's today? The 13th? Yeah. Just like tomorrow, he gonna decide, that your woman deserves to get love. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna go out and you're gonna do all types of things that you think to show your woman love, and your woman's gonna whore on you. You understand? Or sisters, you're gonna go out and do things that your man wants that it should not be done out of the sake of so-called love, because the white man says so. Like, we gotta stop following our oppressor, man. We gotta follow our God and our scriptures and our culture, man. Keep reading.
Verse 42. At the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, his fathers. And Rehoboam, his son, reigned in his stead. Chapter 12, verse 1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were to come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for it was fled from the presence of King Solomon to Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt.
That's it. Most High Christ. Up here, I imagine which means to stand. Who's next? Barack, was it yourself? I'm gonna take it. That was a fail.
Barak ban Yahweh ban Yasha'Allah.
Barak ban Yahweh ban Yasha'Allah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Barak Atham.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Barak Atham. Up here, Yeshabia, which means be seated. We're going to pick up where we left off with 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 3.
Chapter 12, verse 3, right? Salaki. Waya Shalakawa, Waya Kar Awa, Lawa, Waya Ba'awa, Yaraba'ain, Wakal, Kahal, Yasha'ala, Wayad, Barwa, Ar, Rakaraba'ain, La'amal, verse 4, Abayakar, Abayak, Hakash, Af, Alianwa, Wa'af, Wa'atha, Itha, Hakol, Ma'aibat, Ma'aibadath, Abayak, Akash, Wama'ailawa, Hakabad, Ashar, Nathan, Al Yanwa, Wana Ibadka, verse 5, Waya Amar, Ala Yaham, Lakawa, Id, Shalash, Yum Yum, Wabwar, Alaya, Alya, Waya Lakwa, Ha'an, verse 6, Waya wa Aitza, Hamalak, Raba'an, Af, Hazakanyam, Ashar, Hayawa, Imadium, Af, Panya, Shalama, Abayawa, Bahayathwa, Kaya, La'amar, Ayak, Ima, Salakia, Atham, Nawa Aitazayam, Lahashya, Ath, Ha'an, Haza'ah, Debar, verse 7, Waya Debar, Alayawa, La'amar, Amar, Hayawam, Thahaya, Ibad, La'am, Haza'ah, Wa'ibatham, Wa'an, Wa'i, Nayatham, Wadabarath, Aliyaham, Debaryam, Tawabyam, Wahayawa, Lakar, Ibadyam, Kar, Hayamayam, verse 8, Hayamyam, verse 8, Waya Izar, Ath, Atazath, Hazakan Yum, Ashar, Ya'ai Tazahawa, Waya Wataza, Ath, Hayaladium, Ashar, Galalawa, Athwa, Ashar, Ha'aim, Dayam, Lapanyawa, verse 9, Waya Amar, Alayahayam, Ayalahayam, Maha, Atham, Nawa'aitazayam, Wana Shayab, Debar, Ath, Ha'aim, Haza'ah, Ashar, Deborah, Alaya, La'amar, Hakal, Manah, Ha'al, Ashar, Nathan, Abayak, Ali Salaki, Al Yanwar. That's it. something.
You was already going.
It's
Go ahead.
My fault.
Let's see if you can do it in English. Let's go ahead. Let's get it in English. We have 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 3.
Verse 3. That they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, verse 4, thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and this heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. Verse 6. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, how do you advise that I may answer this people? Verse 7. And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto his people, unto this people this day, and will serve them and answer them and speak good words to them, then will they be servants forever. Verse 8. For he forsook the counsel of the old men.
But he forsook. It's important. I want to bring this up.
But he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him.
If this ain't a brother right here, listen, this is the reason why so many of our brothers are killed in the streets, why so many sisters leave their husbands. It's why so many kids end up getting into things they shouldn't get into. Because instead of consulting the people that we should consult for wisdom, the people that we know, if I go to them, I'm going to hear something that I don't really want to hear, the right thing. So Solomon went to the old man first, like he was supposed to get wisdom. And they told him what he should do. And then, of course, us being who we are, not Solomon, Rehoboam. He went to the old man, and then he heard what they said, and he said, okay, let me hear what my niggas got to say. Let me go to my folks. I went to you. Let me see what my people's got to say about it. And of course, they told him something that fits more to what your lust wants. It should be a lesson to us, man. When we say in the UPK, seek counsel, we're not saying go to people that you know is going to side with you. That's not seeking counsel. That's just you entertaining your demons. Seek counsel meaning go to somebody that is qualified. Most likely it's going to be your camp leader. You understand? It's going to be your camp leader. You understand? It's going to be General Muhammad, who's in charge of the counseling department in the UPK. But don't go, when they say get counsel, if you're a sister, don't go to some, you got to get counsel from another sister, man. Right. That is foolish if you think you're going to get sound counsel from another sister. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, sisters, y'all can help each other out, be strong, but there's certain things that you should just know, okay, I'm not going to get good counsel from this sister right here. If she's going to tell me something, it's going to tell me something that's going to feel good, but it may not be good for me. The same way, brothers, you got to argue with your brother. Don't bring it to a brother that you know was like, yeah, you know what? It's funny you said that because I noticed he was a little off too. Don't go to that brother. You know that's going to do that. Go to the brother that you know he's like, well, what? Let's sit both of you down. Let's get down to the bottom of this. I bring that out to say who you go to and tell your problems to can make a big difference in the outcome of your decisions and what you do. And we're going to find out just how that was the case right here, man. Don't do what's comfortable. I know it's comfortable to not even take brothers to counsel or not even bring an offense to a brother or a sister. But the Lord requires us to do certain things. That's why we got that sign right there. Brotherhood is a weapon. You understand? If you have an arc with your brother, take it to him, he and be alone. You won't find out if you're really in the truth or if you're a man or not. When it comes to doing that, you'll find out just where you stand on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Of brotherhood and being a man. And if you want to find out if you're a sister, you know what I'm saying? If you're really in this truth, that's going to be the spectrum too. You know what I'm saying? Sisters have issues too. You know what I'm saying? And King Rehoboam, he did not do that. He got good counsel from the old men who had wisdom, and then he forsook that counsel. So, which is another topic. If you go to get counsel, adhere to the counsel, man. Right. You know, adhere to the counsel. These brothers is not just taking time out their day to tell you things that just to talk to you. They telling you from an unbiased perspective. Not only that, but with wisdom from the Lord. Right. Most importantly, like you think these brothers have been in these positions and the Lord is not with them at this point? Nah. I'm telling you straight up and down. This has been things where I heard brothers over me say to do. And I'm like, that's not going to work. The demon in me is like, that's not going to work, nigga. Just do how you always do it. You know, the demon talking to it sounds good too. The demon is always going to present a good argument. Bro, that's not going to work. That don't even make sense, bro. Just do it how you always do it. And then, you know, you fight it like, you know, let me just try it. I never thought to do it like this. And you do it. And lo and behold, it works. Right. it works. Because the wisdom is not wisdom of this earth. It's from the Lord, man. Right. And that's what you understand. And King Solomon, Rehoboam, negated that wisdom. Somebody, you got something, bro?
I did, but I'll leave.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, I'll leave.
Let's keep reading.
Verse 9. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye that we may answer this people, who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon his lighter.
That's it. Messiah Christ. Yeah, imagine if we can stand. Why did you present yourself? God, was you next? You don't matter. Let's go. We'll take it. It's the last one.
I will watch your bun gab, bun yashala.
I will watch your bun gab, bun yashala.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat Rakatham.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat Rakatham. Up here, Yeshabim, which means be seated. Of course, you're going to do the first 5. Otherwise, you're going to do the last 2. We have 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 10.
First Kings chapter 12, verse 10. Where the Barwa, Aliwa, Hayaladim, Ashar, Gadawa, Athwa, La'amar, Kaha, Thamar, La'aim, Hazah, Ashar, Debarwa, Alyaka, La'amar, Abayak, Abayak, Hakabayad, Ath, Alnawa, Watha, Hakal, Ma'al, Yanwa, Kaha, Thadabar, Al-Yaham, Quatanya, Qua Tayanwa, Slakia, Qua Tayanya, Ibaha, Mamathanya, Abaya, verse 11, Wa'itha, Abaya, Ha'im Yasa, Al Yakam, Al Kabad, Wa'anya, Al Wasayap, Al Kama, Abaya, Yasar, Athakma, Bashawatya, Wa'anya, Ayasar, Athakam, Ba'ai Korat Bayam, verse 12, Waya Bawa, Waya Slakia, Yeroba'im, Wakal, Ha'im, Al, Raka Ba'im, Bayawam, Kashalashya, Kashar, Dabar, Hamalak, Lamar, Shawabawa, Alia, Bayawam, Shalah Yasha, verse 13. Waya Aina, Hamalak, Ath, Ha'aim,
Quasha. YAHIZUPK. TITHES. Hazah Quanayim. Ashar. YAHITEZAHAWA. Verse 14. Wayadabar. Alahayim. Ka'ai Tazath. Hayaladyam. Lamar. Abaya. Hakabayad. Ath. Al Kama. Wa'anaya. Asaya. Asaya. Al Kama. Abaya. Yasara. Kayam. Kama. Bashawatyam. Wa'anya. Ayah Sarah. Athakma. Ba'ai Korabium.
Verse 15. Wala'ah. Shemai. Hamalak. Al. Ha'ain. Kaya. Hayatha. Sabbath. Ma'ain. Yahweh. Lama'ain. Haquayam. Debarah. Ashar. Debar. Yahweh. Bayad. Akadia. Hashiyah. Lanaya. Al. Yarabaim. What? Banat. Bun. Nabat. Verse 16. Wayara'ah. Kal. Yasha'ala. Kaya. La'ah. Shemai. Hamalak. Alahayim. Wayashabadwa. Ha'ain. Hamalak. Abar. Debar. Salah. La'amar. Ma'ah. Maha. Lanawa. Kalakwa. Badawada. Wala'ah. Nakalak. Laban. Yashiyah. La'ah. Halayak. Yasha'ala. Itha. Ra'ah. Bayatha. Dawada. Wayalak. Yasha'ala. La'ah. La'ah. Yalawa.
We'll read it in the English. We have 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 10.
1 Kings chapter 12, verse 10. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins.
Keep reading.
Verse 11. And now whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father have chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
So right here, these cats that Rehoboam went to for counsel, of course, they told him to do something wicked. Like the old man gave him something wise. They understand. They've been around long enough. The Lord with them. These cats told Rehoboam to say to the people, well, guess what? You say my father made your burdens heavy. You understand? Well, listen, my little finger is thicker than his loins. Meaning, I got, in other words, he's saying, what's the PG way of saying this? I got bigger cojones than my father. I'm going to show you something. You thought what my father did was bad. He chastised you with whips. I'm going to chastise you with scorpions. Like you, since you want to complain, I'll show you just how bad it is. What you're going to find out is just a wicked ruler. This is just wicked. He's starting off just terrible. You understand? At least Solomon started off and, good go around and he made a mistake. Rehoboam is just starting off in the negative. Go ahead.
It's like, if I could, it sounds like Pharaoh. You say you working hard. Well, now I'm making hard.
Right. Clearly, if you actually go out and serve your God in the wilderness, y'all must got too much time on your hands. You thinking about going and serve what? Taking time off work to serve God? Nah, see, I knew I wasn't working y'all hard enough. You got enough time to dream, nigga. Dream? You got dreams in this place? Nah, you ain't working hard enough. And that's America too. Sidebar. Right. That's America to this day. That's why you have to now make you have to work damn near 2 jobs to make what somebody in the 70s made. Just to make it. That's not by design. That's not by coincidence. That is by design. And we're the ones that's suffering from this because the oppressor knows if we have more time to think, now we have time to look at our circumstances and look like, this really shouldn't be like this. You understand? Now we start to think about different things like, well, maybe we should have this and we shouldn't get treated like this. If you getting oppressed, all you're thinking about is, I got to make it to my slave. I got to make it to my slave. That's it. Like, I remember watching my mom growing up. She had 3 jobs at one point. I remember watching her. And I'm like, there's no way in the world somebody can survive doing this for this long. Like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, how are you working 3 jobs and then expect for the house to sustain itself? Like, you're literally working just to work. It's not even working to take care of the bills at this point. You're working just to work. It's like we live in so heavy oppression. It's just crazy. Go ahead, Barack.
No, I was saying as far as the metaphor or the metaphor that was given here in that scripture was saying, like, with my father was, the whip, and then now I'm gonna give you these scorpions. It just sounds so black to me. It just sounds so spontaneous. Like a black parent right then and there would just, we think like the sayings. I can recall back to when I was a kid, and there's times that I got my behind tore up was just the sayings that was said. It was always some craftiness. I'm gonna wrap the umbilical cord and I'm gonna use it to charge my phone after type thing. Like it was just always some weird Judah thing that was going on, but it just make it sound so black, just in the sense of how it is. It's almost like that saying it's not a threat, it's a promise. Yeah. Like in that context, it just fits that same spirit.
It's the same spirit. Like, you thought that was bad. He chastised you with whips. I'm chastised you with scorpions. My little finger is bigger than my father's loins. Like, I got the cojones to really do what needs to be done. Meaning, he basically, he shitting on his father. Basically, like, see, that nigga was too nice. When black people say this, oh, you better than me. You're better than me. They're really saying you a bitch when black people say that. Yeah. Like, you let your baby mama go out with her male friend? Oh, you better than me, bro. You better than me. He's not really saying you're better than me. He's saying you're stupid. You're weak. Right. That's what you're saying. And that's the same spirit right here. He's like, yeah, my little finger is bigger than my father's. I'm going to show you something. Go ahead, Wad.
You basically saying, I'm going to kill y'all.
That's the okay. You gonna find out. you gonna find out just exactly what he's saying. But that's the spirit of what he's saying, because he doesn't give a damn about the people at this point.
Right.
So it's gonna end up leading to something where it's like you gonna see. I don't want to give it away because it's a sad account, but this is just when it starts to. It's like I said, it's downhill from Solomon sleeping with them whores. It's downhill from here, man. It's downhill. But keep reading.
Come. Verse 12. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord.
From the cause was what?
From the Lord.
This was from the Lord. This was from the Lord that this Negro was against the people of the Lord. That's how the Lord works. Like, it's hard to understand that the things in your life that are going bad is from the Lord. The Christian church will tell you that ain't nothing but the devil. I rebuke you, Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan. You know, Satan this and Satan that one. It is God that gave you cancer. It is God that had your mama's leg cut off from diabetes. It's God that allowed your children to get molested in that church. It's God that allowed all the terrible things to happen to you, man. Well, the moment you can wrap your mind around that, you'll start to have some goddamn respect for the Lord's name. Put some respect on the Lord's name, man. The Lord is not somebody to play with. Right. And the Christian church has completely eliminated our reverence for the most high power of the Bible. You understand? The Lord put this cause against the children of Israel in Rehoboam. Go ahead, Barack.
So I got a precept what you were saying, that the Lord is one that does all this.
Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. See now that even I am he, and there is no God with me.
And there is no God with me. Why is the Lord saying there is no God with me in this precept? Just understand. It's important to understand that. Why is the Lord saying, see, I am God, and there is no God with me? Why is he saying that? Because no one can save you. He's giving you the pretext of what he's about to tell you. I'm the only one that can save you, meaning everything that you put your faith in to save you and give you relief, it's all garbage. And I'm going to show you. I am God, and there's no God with me. And I'm going to show you this way. Keep reading.
I kill.
I what?
I kill.
I kill.
And I make alive.
And I make alive. That's why he's saying there's no God with me, because I'm the one that gives you pain, and then I'm the same one that gives you relief. Nobody else can take you out of the pain that I give you if I don't choose to do so. Right. And it's like nobody can give you pain unless I choose to allow that to happen. Mm-hmm. Keep reading.
God, I wound and I heal.
Keep reading.
Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
That's the reason why he said that. There is none that can deliver out of the Lord's hand. Perfect precept. The Lord is the reason why we're suffering right now, because the Lord is putting his hand against blacks, Hispanics, and Americans. The God of the Bible is an enemy to our people because we choose to follow our enemies. Right. We choose to follow after people that hate God. Right. The oppressor hates God. Even when Esau was told by his parents, don't go and get a woman that's not of your people. If you go read about Esau, Rebecca and Isaac wanted both Jacob and Esau to get a woman for a wife that's from their family. Jacob did it. He went and found Laban, who had what's the two sisters' names? Leah and Rachel. Esau didn't do that. Esau deliberately went and got abroad some stinging African. Like, that's who the white man has always been, a deviant and a rebellious child. Yeah. And that's who we follow when we take on the customs of America. When you think about celebrating Valentine's Day tomorrow, just know you are going against what God says in the Bible.
That's right.
You think he's doing it for love when that's not love.
That's right.
That is not love. And you're going to find out it's not love. I done heard so many stories about people going out and doing all type of wild stuff. Heard a sister, this one sister said her man wanted her to have a threesome with another woman for Valentine's Day, and she did it. Because she thought she wanted to show her man how loyal and how much she loved him. Heard another story about how some cats, you know, this brother, his rib wanted him to take an E-pill, take some Molly, because, you know, apparently it makes the sex better. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that the world will tell you you do out of love when you're just really being rebellious against the Lord. And that's what you're going to find out. Sidebar, do not celebrate Valentine's Day tomorrow, man.
That's right.
Do not celebrate Valentine's Day tomorrow. If you want your relationship to worship, if you want your relationship to work, do not worship that God of Valentine's Day, man. It's not going to work. Go ahead, Barack.
Salagi, I don't mean to drag it on, but just if I may, as far as the whole Valentine's Day, like America's holidays, it just, besides the fact that the Lord told us not to do it, like their holidays really show this our insecurities. Like there's no way that you should now decide to love your woman more, love your man more because of a date on the calendar. Whereas this brother or this sister is working 3-4 jobs to put food on your table and to protect your family, and you dedicate one day to showing how much you love this man. This really shows your insecurity. I'll take a sister that'll love me 366 days a year.
Right.
Not 65, but 66 days a year.
Right.
Than a sister that'll just, want to say how much they love me on one day.
When the white man says it's okay.
When the white man says it's okay.
So you slaves. You couldn't get married until the white man granted permission.
Forget about it.
You know, he's like, okay, now you go ahead, kiss your wife, boy. Go ahead, kiss your wife now, boy. It's married now, boy. That's the same thing. We gotta wait to show each other love when the white man means it's okay. Damn that. That's why it's so fake Israelites that teach you gotta have a marriage certificate. It's so wicked because you are perpetuating that spirit within the black community. When sex is marriage, we don't need permission from the white man to practice our culture and to live. You understand? It's like it. We'll drag it on. Keep reading.
That he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah, the Shalamite, unto Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. Verse 16. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse to your tents, O Israel. Now see to thy own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents.
We're going to pick it up next week. It's going to get good next week. Read about how our nation slowly declined from here on out. Use the first one though. Oh, what? You get the double dose.
God damn.
No sweat.
Got 2 dogs.
Yasha'Allah. La Yasha'Allah.
Imagine, which means to stand. Wapanyaha for done, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew. Repeat after me. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash. Hayat.
Shukka. Yahweh.
Malak
Sabbath.
Matzayaka. Hayat. I.S.U.P.K. Ba'aratazah. Kawak. Hayat. Bashamayim. Thundernawa. Lakam. Yawam. Wasalakinawa. Kabawafinawa. Kasalakinawa. Kabawafinawa. Wala'ah. Tabi'ayinawa. Banasaya 1. Abal. Hawashayinawa. Mayan. Kayab. Lakab. Hamalakwa. Waha'ala. Wa'alalunya. Amen.
In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth. As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debts.
As we forgive our debts.
And lead us not.
And lead us not.
Into temptation.
But
deliver us. From evil. For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever. So be it.
So be it.
Power, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'Shem,
Ba'Shem,
Yahushua,
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 the thunder now, Hakak, Larpa'ah, Kamakalah, Wakamadawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakak, Lahaki, Hamathi, Hakak, Arakawa, Atama'ala, the Garshun, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, the Wadaman.
And in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please. Give us the power.
Give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you. So be it.
So be it.
We'll say, bless Israel, Yahweh,
Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Wahabayah, Safari, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, the Wadaman.
And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us. And Israel.
And
the school.
Bless.
Heal. Shield. Protect
our loved ones.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121.
Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Mahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Ayathan, Na'amawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashun, Shamamah, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazaka, Al-Yad, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makawra, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabu'atka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ad Awalam,
And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold. He that keepeth Israel. Shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore. So be it.
Let's say Psalms 83.
Alahayim.
Al-Damailaka,
Al-Thakarash,
Al-Thashakwat, Yahanna, Awiyabika, Yahama, Wama Shanayaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Amaka, Ya'ariyamo, Sawad, Wayatha Altasapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakida, Magalia, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'al, Iwa, Kaya, Noah Itazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Aliyaka, Barya, Yakarathwa, Ahaya. Adawan. Wayashma'ayim. Mawa'aba. Wahagarian. Gabal. Wa'aimalak. Halashat. I'm Yeshabia. Taz of war. Ashawa. Nalawat. Imam. Hayawat. Zarawat. Labanya Lawat. Salat. Aishalaham. Kamadia. Kasaya Sara'ah. Kayabian. Banakal. Koyashwan. Nashadmawa. Nashamadwa. Ba'ayan Da'arwa. Hayawat. Daman. La'adama. Shayathamwa. Nadan Slaki. Nadiyamawa. Ka'ira. Wakazaba. Slaki. Wakaza'aba. Wakazazamana. Kanasaya Kamwa. Ashar. Marwa. Nayashara. So it's like it. Nayarasha. Lanawa. Af. Na'awaf. Alahaya. Shayathamwa. Kagagala. Kakwash. Lapanya Ka'ash. Taba'ira Ya'ira. Wakala Haba. Salahat. Haryam. Khan. Theradatma. Basa'iraka. Wabasa Wapafka. Tabahalam. Mala'ah. Panyaham. Kwalawan. Wayabakwashua. Shimka. Yahawa. Yabashua. Wayaba'awa. Aja'ai. Wayakaparwa. Wayabadwa. Wayada'aiwa. Kaya. Atha. Shimka. Yahawa. Labaka. Ayanawan. Alka-Rataza. Wadaman.
And in the English, keep not thou silence on your house.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still. Oh, your house. For lo, thine enemies make it tumble. And they that hate thee. Have lifted up the head. They are taking crafty counsel. Against thy people. And consulted against thy head. They have said. Come. And let us cut them off. From being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more remembered. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites of Moab. And the Hagarenes. Gabal and Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kishon. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Ze'ed. Yea. All their princes. As Zabah. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let us take to ourselves. The houses of Yahweh possession. Oh my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them. With thy tempest. And make them afraid. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. Oh Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou. Whose name alone. Is Yahweh. Art the most high. Over all the earth. So be it.
Let's say blessings. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Matazabiyah.
Matazabiyah.
Alawap Yahanna.
Alawap Yahanna.
Ha Alawap Yahanna.
Ha Alawap Yahanna.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Kwataziyani.
Ha Kwataziyani.
Ha Kwaya Yami.
Ha Kwaya Yami.
Wa Hakwathia.
Wa Hakwathia.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Wada Aman.
The water Aman.
And in the English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahanna.
Commanding General Yahanna.
The general.
The general.
The captain.
The captain.
The officer.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We're going to do the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The treasure of the rich.
The treasure of the rich.
Of Israel.
Of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug
and the drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and arms.
Amalek synagogues and arms.
The Roman Catholic Church.
The Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia. Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitatus.
Posse Comitatus.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army. Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines. Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
The cable access channel.
The cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit
of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop
that
us.
Seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
And bring swift destruction.
To all the heathen.
To all the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
Or try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
From broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague.
Let the plague.
Shake the house of the thieves.
Shake the house of the thieves.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahweh Shai.
Let Yahweh Shai.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathen.
And punish all the heathen.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known.
Cause it to be known.
By all.
By all.
That it is the angels.
That is the angels.
That have done it.
That have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
With that, say Sar, which means to turn. Sister, you may be seated. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins to prepare to salute the Torah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai B'Rakiyah.
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 With that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, Imajim, Barak.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai B'Rakiyah. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai B'Rakiyah.
Yashabata, Sar, sister, please stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister, men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, Imajim, Barak.
Yahweh Shabbat Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Yashabata, class dismissed.
Passover commercial. Show.
Brand.
The Lord loved us so much that in our poverty, in I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Yo niggas ain't tough. Yo niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Shah Brakatah. Yahweh Shema Allah Bashim Shah to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000 that called up around checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Jerry YAHANNA. Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on. I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Jerry YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's going to be in H-Town, baby.
It's going to be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
2021, I.S.U.P.K, 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord, of course. On one accord.